welcome back to the News Hour, final segment with Bob Chapman. This is such important stuff, Bob. We're literally talking about something that I think people who don't think about a lot of affairs of state can really put their finger on, because if you're talking about economics and finance, you're talking about jobs, you're talking about savings and welfare and taking care of your families. And if things are really deteriorating, even if at the moment maybe not the way it was months back, over the horizon, potentially there's some awfully dangerous stuff, dark clouds looming. So I don't know how anybody cannot just be focusing on this like a laser. So your information is extremely vital. Some final thoughts that you can pass on, Bob. By the way, I just shot you an email. You can take a peek at it when we get off the air to get you back on again in November. But some final thoughts, Bob.
Well, I think immediately we're going to go sideways here. The only thing that I see changing is I think finally people are going to start listening to David Rubenstein and John Williams and myself and others, and they're going to come to the conclusion that the market is really way over extended, and that they're going to have a correction in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I don't envision lower interest rates for at least a year, if not longer, and probably longer, probably 2 or 2.5 years into the future, maybe as many as 3. Now, I know we just saw a couple of countries say that they were going to up their interest rates, but I think that's going to be isolated, and I don't think it's going to be followed. If interest rates are raised and the creation of money and credit is cut back upon, then what comes next is a even more slowing world economy, and particularly domestic economies, depending upon who's increasing money and credit and who isn't. And so a diminution of expansion of money and credit and an increase in interest rates will absolutely destroy what is left of the economy in the world. They're in a box and they can't get out. And sooner or later, they're going to run out of money and credit and stimulus packages and clunker packages, and the whole thing's going to collapse. And I think that's going to happen about the same time the dollar collapses further downward, and that gold and silver finally passes 3,000, is headed for 6, and then finally the people of the world who don't know what's going on, who are not listening, or who are listening and not paying attention, they're going to come to the realization that they are really in serious trouble.
Oh, they will be in serious trouble. Very sadly, I think we both know that most people don't realize it until it's already happened, and they are really in a dire situation. Now what do we do? Now what do we do? Instead of anticipating a little bit, watching things deteriorate badly, and doing something proactively, well, it's tough for ordinary people. They don't follow stuff the way you do, Bob, and even what I do in these programs in my writing. But I stay on this all the time, and it scares me. I think the best way I could sum it up is to say it really scares me to see what's happening. And, I mean, anything can break any time, and probably the time most likely might be when we least expect it to happen.
Well, that's usually happens,
and
that's
the way
why we
goes.
publish.
Oh, yeah, everything expected, people are braced for it, but it's the unexpected that could be the tsunami storm. Bob, we're out of time. I wish we could go on. It was another terrific hour. Take a peek at my email. I shot you a couple of days for next month. So I will say to be continued, and my great thanks, Bob, again for coming on.
Well, thank you, and I'll see you in a month. Bye-bye.
Oh, indeed. And join us again next week. We've got a full slate for you.